everyone, welcome back to another Flames War Battle Report. Again, doing a remote game with my friend in Romania, Tito. So I'm going with a veteran rifle company, and he is taking an SS Tiger company and another formation. And we did these lists before the mission, and we're doing the Breakout mission, which is really fun because obviously, as the attacker, you are going forward while the enemy reserves are coming from the rear. So it's difficult for the defender because your reserves are coming far from where your objectives are. And it's also difficult for the attacker because the reserves are coming from right behind you, which is a bit of a problem for artillery and also tanks with their rear armor. So we'll have a look at the lists. And here is my list for today. Went with this with a little help from Tom and Lucas. My original plan was to have the two full rifle platoons, but then the formation is quite brittle. I was planning on running a second formation in the form of an M10 company, but felt it'd be good to have some other options in there as well. So I have a veteran rifle company, which is the 9th infantry division, so that rally rating's a bit better, which I find more useful. And with them are the 4 mortars. As you can see, I have plenty of support. Of course, the priests, decent artillery option. The thunderbolts are in there. After the last game Lucas had them, I wanted to try them out myself. They had a good game. Sherman's good base of firepower and against medium armor as well, and all veterans, and Stuart's using for the first time, and of course the M10 to deal with any German heavy armor, and they're upgraded to desert veterans. The only other thing to note is I added an extra bazooka to all of my rifle platoons, and I only have one full one and 2 smaller platoons. But saying they're smaller is strange because they're the same size as a full platoon of any of the other nations other than the Soviets. So hopefully my list can do attack or defend. I'm going attack, but it's just in case my opponent picks attack as well and I end up as a defender. I feel it could do a bit of both, and hopefully the aircraft can come in and do a job like they did for Lucas. And here are the actual models. As you can see, standard American rifle platoons. You can see the big platoon on the left, HQ right in the front, the 2 smaller platoons, and the mortars at the back. And that is it. Nothing too fancy from this veteran rifle platoon here. And bulk of my army is support options, but what supports to have? Shermans, great. M10s, great. Stuarts, fast. Mobile machine gun nests. Priests, brilliant artillery, and then the thunderbolts. Hopefully again they'll prove themselves. Not too bad on points, and again, as I mentioned, if I was a defender or in attacker and needing reserves, I have a good amount to put in reserve and still have the M10s starting in ambush or an attack, and that's where I'd like them to be. And that is it. And as mentioned, the Stuarts are on their debut today. You might notice at the back my Stuart is slightly off colour. It's because I run out of the Sherman drab spray for the Flames of War sprays. And then I did get another company's American armour, and it's slightly lighter, which is a bit off-putting, but I guess the factory mixed the ratio, had the mixing ratios off for the paint and sprayed it like that. So doesn't matter, it's still green, and it more or less, or everything else looks the same. So yeah, they just got a different batch of Stuart there to the rest, probably a replacement since it got blown up. And we'll have a look at the command cards before we move on to Tito's list. And only 2 command cards for the Americans. 9th Division or Reliables, pretty decent card to have. Change your rally rating, but your tactics rating does take a hit as well. 1 point as well, which is a bargain because it covers 5 units in total. So that's 3 platoons, the HQ, and the mortars. So that's quite good. And I had 1 point to spare. Tempted to go for lucky, but the desert veterans I felt would be better. Just having that veteran and also the assault rating is a bit better as well. And again, that's just 1 point per unit, so another bargain, I think. And I feel having the veterans with the tank hunter doctrine as well could be useful to ducking in and out of the hedgerows, dealing with any enemy armor. So that is it. So now we can finally look at the Vavan SS list. And here's Tito's list. Quite scary when he sent it over to me. I'm more than capable of dealing with some tigers, but a company and a company of SS tigers at that. So these M10s got their work cut out, I can tell you that much. And he's done a good thing as well, putting his AA in with the tigers as well, because there's another thing for me to kill, so it's going to be more difficult to break them. And as you can see as well, he's got an SS reconnaissance company. So two debut formations here. I know we've used SS Tigers before, but not in a company, and then SS reconnaissance in company as well. So it's quite good. Our short platoons, so I'm looking to chew them up quite quickly. But they've got good options here, and he's also had 1 point, and he's gone for armoring his AA guns. I may have taken the lucky card myself, but I always tend up burning it too quickly. But we'll see. So let's have a little look at the models. So obviously we're remote gaming. Tito's list is very dependent on what I have, and I had alarm bells quite early on when he messaged me one night and asked me how many Tiger 1s do I have, and I messaged, I think I have 8, and he went, oh, that might be enough. So then I was starting to worry, but as you can see here, this is the Tiger company. Not many, but they are Tigers, and they're decent enough, and then they got their armoured AAs at the back as well. So there was just one for the HQ, a platoon of 3, and a platoon of 2. So I expect, obviously, the platoon and maybe the HQ will be in reserve, and the other 2 will be knocking around in ambush, depending if he's attacking or defending. Okay, and then this is the recon platoon. So it's got the HQ of 2 teams, 2 small 5-man platoons, no half tracks for them. And we also have the armored 7.5 big half tracks, the Scout 250s, and 8cm mortar 250s as well. So basically all of Tito's points are in formation, no support. So that's quite cool, unlike mine where most of my army is support. I know basically the 2 formations are on debut, but this is a special mention to the Recon 250 8cm mortars, who are making their debut today. So a little clap for them. So quite a lot of stuff making their debut today, which is nice to see. Always quite excited to see a new unit on the board to see how they fare. Usually debut units for me tend to die quite quickly, so hopefully in this game it will be different. And here's Tito's command cards. So 1 point, and that changes the AA half tracks to armored. Bit of a strange one. I suppose this stops my rifle teams just taking a pop shot and killing one of them, but for my tanks, 50 cals, and my aircraft, still a decent target, being 0 all round. So yeah, it was quite interesting to spend that point on. As I said, I would have taken the lucky card or maybe something else, but still interesting, and it's also a debut for this command card as well, so another one. So before we go over the terrain, I picked attack with my list, and Tito picked defend. And when we rolled, we had the breakout mission with me attacking. So I rolled for a random terrain generator as well. And as you can see on the left, we have a river. So rivers are impassable, apart from infantry, who require 4+ to go over. The river has 2 fords that are difficult terrain on either end, and a bridge in the middle. There's always forests dotted around the river. So in the center of the board, just below the road, we have a farmhouse. Above, we have some crops. Top right corner, we have a little village, and then we have some hedgerows with a hill, more or less in the center of the board as well. So took Tito quite a while to pick his defending zone, as he can either have the river as a wall to slow up my advance, because where the objectives will be placed, one can slightly go on my side of the river and one on his, But the problem is if he defends the other side, it is then a blocking obstacle for his reserves coming on. So I gave him a knight to come up with what he wanted. Either way, I have open ground, no houses to go through apart the farmhouse. So with the terrain that got generated, it already started looking like an interesting game, and I was really looking forward to seeing what he was having. And then I remembered he had minefields to put down as well, so that was going to be awkward. So we'll have a look at where we ended up with deployment. So hello, this is where we've ended up with the deployment. Tito's decided to defend the river. The narrative is this bridge needs to be held to help withdraw some of the Tiger Company that has pushed on too far and has been cut off by the Americans. So they'll be appearing over here while these guys try to hold the bridge. So we have pretty much all the infantry around this farmhouse, courtesy of the spearhead of the 250s. 2 Tigers here, hiding out in the forest. Everything's backed up by the AA on the edge here, so they can gun down the aircraft when they come in. And I got the Tiger HQ over here. So in ambush are the little Stummels, and in reserve we have the Tiger 1s and the 8cm mortar half tracks. For me, first platoon here is on my left, mortars in the centre, second platoon in the centre with the Shermans and the priests behind. Stuarts are just going through this little alleyway with the M10s, and third platoon and the HQ are in these terrace buildings here. So, and we also have some minefields scattered across here, and one on this far forward over here, which is a bit of annoying for me. And that is deployment. So I'll be having first turn. So first turn for the Americans. Okay, so for movement, I dashed up with my Shermans. These guys failed follow me. M10's also going behind as well. Third platoon and the HQ is by here, and the Shermans have ended up by here with second platoon, and first platoon is trying to run as fast as they can over this direction. In the shooting step, I put a smoke barrage down to screen this advance here. The rest of the artillery went down on this farmhouse, ranging in second attempt. Didn't get any hits on first platoon, which is unfortunate, and didn't get any kills on second, but I did pin them. And then there was a lot of MG shots then went into second platoon as well, and I managed to get one base with all my shooting. So that is it for my turn. So now we're going into SS turn 1. Okay, so for German motivation, everyone rallied, no ambush has popped up, and no reserves have come in. The infantry have occupied the upper parts of this farmhouse, so there's going to be no concealment on my infantry over here. And first platoon did a successful blitz and has moved up to the wall, and the Recce have also done the same as well. The Tigers have done a blitz move as well, so one can try and go for the priests, and the others can go for the infantry here. The HQ Tiger failed their blitz move, so is stuck in the forest for now. And that is it. So now we're going to go into the shooting, and hopefully I'll have some Americans left by the end of this movement, end of shooting phase. Okay, so I felt that turn of shooting. I've lost 2 of my priests, so that is really bad for me. I lost a few sticks of infantry from second platoon, and a fair few guys from first platoon, but there's still plenty of them, but they are pinned, so hopefully I will get them to rally. So a lot for me to do in turn 2 for the Americans. Okay, so first platoon tried to dig in. They did rally. My aircraft didn't turn up, and my priest decided to drive away. He had enough. So apart from that, second platoon moved a couple of boys into the minefield, and they didn't trigger anything. So well done, second platoon. The Shermans have remained stationary. They've got plenty of targets. I failed the blitz with the Stuarts, but I've had to move them in the end. Third platoon has continued to move up, as well as the HQ. failed to blitz with the M10s, so that I could not achieve what I wanted to do with them, so they have remained there. So I do have some artillery to start off my shooting, and it's just the mortars now, so that's easier for me. So luckily, some bright side, I suppose. So I know where this will be going, so let's hope for some dead SS. Okay, with the shooting, I managed to range in here first attempt. I didn't get any kills, but I did manage to pin down first platoon. My Shermans took out the scouts. My Stuarts pinned the guys in this house and killed one base and caused a pin, and that was pretty much all I could achieve. A lot of my units going to ground because there's a lot of fire coming their way, and no doubt more Tigers will be turning up, and hopefully my aircraft will decide to appear at some point. Okay, so the Germans rallied everything again, no surprise, the SS are quite confident. Good thing for me though, the reserves have not arrived yet. In the movement step, the Tigers have moved to within assault range, so these bazookas need to do a lot of work, and first platoon here in the courtyard have all dug in, so two of them dug new foxholes, and again, HQ Tiger failing his blitz move. So the turret has been positioned, so what I was trying to do was maybe get the M10s in side armour shot. That won't be happening now, so yes, we'll have to try another way to deal with this. So we've got plenty to do, the Americans, but there's plenty of shooting for the Germans, and again, no ambush has popped up yet, so we'll try the best we can. So, German shooting. Okay, so in the shooting phase, by some miracle, this platoon has not been pinned. I say a miracle because this team here managed to get 3 shots on 6s on one of my bases who is no longer with us. But the Tigers and the platoon here could not hit anything. And they're 6s because 4 regular, they didn't move, so they concealed, and they also gone to ground, so sweet 6s. This platoon over here did get pinned, but they didn't take any casualties, which is a bonus, and that was it. So as of yet, I haven't taken any casualties, apart from with this inevitable assault which is coming, so we'll see what happens, so wish me luck everyone. So as you can see, the SS Tigers stand victorious. My bazookas did have an excellent chance to hit, but they didn't hit once. I think total of my dice did equal 1 hit at some point, but that was it. I lost a few bases, 3 total, so I've had to pull back here and I'm pinned. So hopefully they can rally and maybe I can try and do something else with these fellas. And now I go into American turn 3. Okay, so for my rallying, I managed to rally first platoon, the remnants of them anyway. Second platoon did not rally, so that was not great. These fellas appeared up, so congratulations on them. They might get shot to bits now, so we'll see. Second platoon I've had to dig in to improve their longevity. First platoon has gone round the side of these pesky Tigers, so maybe I could get rid of them. Shermans have remained still. My M10s, however, 2 of them were in long range of one of the Tigers, and 2 of them have moved closer to get the other remaining Tiger. So I can trace a line and I should be able to get them. The Stuarts have pushed up, didn't bother with a blitz this time. They've got plenty of MGs to do, and third platoon in the HQ are continuing to move down the field. And that is movement, so I'll summarise this for Tidor as well and the viewers on his live stream, and hopefully I can start dealing some damage to stuff that isn't infantry and scout cars, which would be good. Okay, so my shooting went a bit better this time. The aircraft managed to dodge all but 2 hits, but I saved them, and they got rid of the guys who fired at me as well, so that was quite good. The Shermans fired their main armament into the building. Again, another kill, so these guys are on to last stand territory now. My mortars also took out another base, so basically all the infantry are currently pinned. Also courtesy the Stuarts tried to take out the SS HQ.
But my M10s, firing their first rounds of the game, managed to score 2 hits on the Tigers, and unfortunately Tito's regularly hot dice went a little cold on him. I got a kill and a bail. The bazookas missed their shots, but this assault is they're going to pop a little grenade down the turret, and it's going to be bye-bye Tiger. Right in time for the other Tigers to turn up, which is excellent. So there we go. We'll show the dead tiger as we go into German turn 3. Okay, so again, everything rallied, and this time past their last stands as well. All the German reserves came on, so in the form of the Tigers and the 8cm mortars, and the Stummels popped up by here. They have moved, so some of them moved over to here. And the Tiger one in the forest did actually pass a blitz move for once, and then did a tactical to just over the edge of the bridge. So a nice little roadblock by there for me. And the infantry as well are moving to assault first platoon. And that is where we end things. So we'll be moving into the shooting phase again. Okay, with the shooting, second platoon again is taking a lot of firepower from these guys over here. Luckily still no casualties. This horrible tiger was picking on the Stuarts and killed one of them. And then 6 shots from the Stummels, got 3 hits, and I failed all 3 of my saves, resulting in 3 penetrating hits. But luckily only 1 dead. But I still need to remount my guys, which is next step for me. So we do have an assault over here. There was no shots into my guys because, quite rightly, Tito did a follow me. So I do have some shots going in with some concealment, but I only have 2 regular shots and then the rest are bazookas. So they're not getting stopped, but hopefully I can kill some. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so the assault, the 2 SS teams that could get into base contact went in. One got hit by a rifle round as he went in, so the unit leader managed to stab one of the rifle teams. First platoon rallied, unit leader didn't kill anything, and then the bazookas, who've yet not hit anything all game, got 2 hits. So as I said, they decided to stop firing the bazookas and then start wielding them as clubs, and have yielded better results. So they consolidated here, and first platoon for the SS are also last standing now, and they're pinned. So very interesting. So we're going into American turn 4, and I've got a lot of stuff to get back into tanks. Okay, so for my motivations, I got 1 Stuart back in, but luckily I passed my last stand. Both platoons of infantry failed their rallies, which is great, and also I managed to dig them in. Aircraft have turned up again, so that is excellent. For movement, 3rd platoon has pushed up again, up to the river with the HQ. The Shermans have pushed up as well, and the M10s have got into an angle where they can fire on the Tiger on the bridge, one of them not moving, the other 2 having to move to get there, and the other M10 has remained stationary to fire at the 8cm mortars. So I'll show Tito what has happened, and we'll get into the juicy shooting again. Okay, so my shooting, my aircraft managed to bail all of them and kill 1. My Stuarts and Shermans did get a few hits, but I couldn't get rid of them. I managed to kill another member of 1st platoon, so they're already pinned. Got 1 hit on the Tiger 1, but he bounced the hit quite rightly. And again, loads of firepower going into the farmhouse with no kills. And, oh no, I didn't shoot into the farmhouse, I fired at the HQ, pinned them. I did try to range in the mortars, but I was unsuccessful. And that is where we end turn 4 for the Americans. So now we're going to turn 5 for the SS. Okay, so the Tigers, so basically the Stummels, 2 failed to get in, and then 1 failed the last stand, so they all run away. All the infantry again passing their last stands. Tigers moving up here with a follow me to assault my mortars as well. So bye-bye mortars, and the 8cm mortars are going to do what 8cm mortars do and pop some templates everywhere. So we'll get into that now and see how much I got left standing. Okay, so in shooting step, the mortars ranged in on first platoon, got a fair few hits, but luckily I saved them. And over here, the Tiger 1 HQ fired at the Shermans, didn't get anything, and these guys here fired at 3rd platoon and the HQ and killed my HQ, so the 2IC is now in command. And now we're going into the Tiger assault over here, and this is going to be brutal, so let's see how it goes. Okay then, so as you can imagine, that assault went quite well for the SS. I did manage to save 2 tubes of guys. They will be last standing. So now we're going into American turn 5. Okay, so in my turn 5 something happened, everything unpinned, but again my Stuart, even with the reroll, is not interested in getting back in, but is still interested in assaulting. So I've moved his comrade to within assault range of the HQ unit, so we'll see what happens. My plane's also made another appearance, so I'm very grateful for the late entry to the game, gunning down the 8cm mortars. Now that my guys actually cleared the minefield, the unit leader and the guy who dug him up has remained stationary, and my infantry are going through the guys in the building, which is also going to be, well, hopefully I can get them. So there's 3 guys total of 2 platoons left in that building. My 3rd platoon, most of them have crossed the river, a lot of them failed, and 2 of them were too far to go. M10s have moved up. Hopefully I can get rid of this Tiger 1 here. It's going to be a long shot, but let's see if I can do it. And everything else is moved, and we'll show Tidor where everything lies. Okay, so in the shooting step, my aircraft managed to kill 1 and bail 2 of the 8cm mortars. Combination of my Shermans and the infantry have whittled down the 3 teams here to just 1, but he is not pinned, so he still has his 3 shots. My Stuart could not kill anyone from these guys with the shots. M10s did get another hit, but no kills. And my bazookas failed to hit as well. So there's a few assaults coming in. Just do them in the correct order for optimised effect, and we'll get back to you. So I'm assaulting with the infantry into the farmhouse, these guys on to the Tiger, and then finally the Stuart onto the HQ. So we'll see how it all goes. Okay, so this building has been claimed for America. They went in, lost a guy, but 1 guy did hit the what we affectionately call him the Hitler-Jugend guy in here, and he's been killed. These guys failed to assault the Tiger. They got mowed down, so I lost a bazooka in the process. For that, my Stuart has decided not to assault here. And that is where we wrap up turn 5 for me, and now we're going into turn 5 for the Germans. Okay, so Germans passed all their motivations required of them, and they're starting to swamp the remnants of 1st Platoon with Tigers and the HQ. And the Tiger 1 failed to get into the woods, but is in assault range of this platoon here, and that's where we end everything. So we're going into the shooting phase. Okay, so in the shooting phase, my 2 bazookas here are now gone, and the mortars ranged in by here and took out quite a bit, and the Tiger failed to kill anyone over here, so got off a little bit lightly over here, but I'm probably going to lose him and a few guys thanks to the Tiger, so we'll see how this ends up. And the Tigers are in a position now to stop me getting this objective if I can, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so this assault with the Germans didn't end particularly well. They didn't kill anyone, but I didn't kill any of them either, and I'm backed right into the corner. The Tiger hit a guy and killed him. I did hit with a bazooka, but I didn't get anything, so that is where we end everything on this turn. So, American turn 6, and I need to get something on an objective. Okay, so for my motivation, 2nd and 3rd platoon rallied, 1st one didn't, and my Stuarts managed to get back in, so they're now sitting on the objective, so the Germans need to do something about that. Infantry all got across the river, including my remaining bazooka over here. I did fancy going to the edge of the river with the M10s, but they were outside of 6 with the tall terrain, so they've gone for the other Tigers instead, so hopefully I can get 1 or 2 hits on them. Sherman's failing the blitz, moved to here, and this infantry are moved onto the objective, and my planes have turned up again, so they're going to go for the 8 centimeters. So we will see what happens. Okay, so in my shooting, my M10s failed to hit any of the Tigers. I killed another 8 centimeter half track and bailed another. This guy in the woods couldn't hit anyone, and I did get a hit with on the Tiger with the bazooka, and Tito rolled a 1. But unfortunately, I rolled a 5. I rolled a 3. So if I was in side armor, that'd be a bail Tiger, and I'd be taking that home as a trophy. But there's some assaults to do. I need to try and get rid of this Tiger. I need to see if I can do something. And if he's got a lot of stuff to do because he's stuck in the woods. Okay, so I got into the forest, into the assault, but I couldn't get the Tiger again. I just can't seem to just finish off that last one. And that is it. So now we're going into German turn 6. Okay, so movement. Shall we say, the 8 centimeter mortar managed to get back in and pass this last stand. It was great for him. And the Tigers have ended up here in assault range, and of course the Tiger with his consolidation is just going to blow the hell out of the Stuarts, if it can hit them. So we'll see what happens in German turn 6. Okay, so this is a summary of the shooting and the assault steps. So shooting, this guy did survive, and then when they assaulted him, he managed to take out one of the HQ teams. Furthermore, the one Stuart was a casualty, unfortunately, from the Tigers. These Tigers got no hits on the Shermans and were then successful in their assault. And that's where we end it. And now we're going into turn 7. And I still have something on the objective, so we do have a turn 7, thanks to my little Stuart. Okay, for my turn 7, both my platoons did not rally, which is really bad, but I managed to move things into a good position. So side shots on this Tiger here, side shots onto the Tigers, and then more M10s. Aircraft turned up again, which is great, and I decided to go for the HQ for the final. Hopefully this will be it, and we'll not be able to get these guys off the objective. It all pins on my HQ guy doing the job, so we'll see what happens. Okay, in the shooting step, my planes got rid of the HQ. I just did the last stand on the Stuart, thanks for Tila reminding me, and I managed to bail one of the Tigers, and that was it. In the end, I decided not to assault because I could not bail the Tiger, and that is where we end it, going into German turn 7. Okay, so this is a movement, assault, shooting, recap. So basically the Tigers fired a bit of a mixture, took out 2 Shermans here. This was a result of the assault, and they bailed one of the M10s. The Tiger here took out another Sherman and then assaulted the HQ, failed to kill him, and then I failed my counterattack. So it's all fairly even at the moment. So now we'll go into my turn 8, still in the game thanks to my little Stuart. So we'll see how this all ends up. So my turn 8, I managed to rally everything, get everything back in and pass my last stands, which are great. The M10s did a blitz move, and that enabled them to take out 2 of the Tigers. But the most important thing was I did not bail him with shooting, but for some reason my guy stuck in the assault, and the bazooka managed to hit him. Tito unfortunately rolled a 2, and then I rolled a sweet 5 to bail the Tiger, and that was it. I take the objective and both formations break. A very costly victory for the Americans, but I quite enjoyed that, and it was a very epic game. It just got so close down to the end, right down to the wire, and nice, very good game, I think. And Tito played well, but my boys just managed to hold their own. So I'll have a chat with Tito, and we'll pick our man of the matches.
Okay, see from the previous slides, I picked the Thunderbolts because in our post-match chat, Tito did point out that every time they came in, apart from one turn, they wiped out a unit rather with either killing them or by the fail morale the following turn. So in total, they had the AAs, the Stummels, the 8 centimeter mortars, and the Recon HQ uh, on their tally of kills. So I had them, and Tito picked his Tiger HQ. Bit of a rocky start with it, but thanks to him, he did keep him in the game and fought off wave after wave of infantry assaults until that final bazooka finally got it. Thoroughly enjoyed the game. Obviously, time was getting a bit short towards the end, so obviously had to be quick on my filming. So there was quite a little bit more dramatic. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite capture that today. So it would be nice to see some of the dice roll and how tense it got. Yeah, me and Tito both enjoyed the game, and he was well, truly chuffed for me to win it as well. And he said he was more than happy for win that game. Costly victory for the Americans, but I did bag 6 Tigers, so I'll take that. And again, nice to see the Thunderbolts, but again, they are hit and miss. If I find with the aircraft, when they do well, they do really well, but then they can do really badly. Figured out the best thing to do with the aircraft if they have cannons or MGs, go after lightly armored stuff or infantry outside of their foxholes, and that's where you're going to get the best results. And then what I tend to think of, I go for the easiest stuff to kill first, or something I really need to kill. And then I start going for the heavy stuff. As Tito did, he was surprised I didn't go for the Tigers, but I had to range in and I had to hit them, and then he had to fail his saves. So there's a lot of ifs going in there, but with the um, lighter armored stuff, once I've hit them, the onus is on him to pass his save, and I'm happy just to bail them. And killing one of those 8 centimeter mortars was great for their uh, ranging in because they had to re-roll their hits, which is good for me. This might actually be my last video of the year because I am going to be moving house imminently, and obviously going to have priorities there, and then obviously internet is going to be a potential problem. But maybe if my move is to happen next year, I've already got Tom and Lucas hooked up for another game, maybe get another one as well. But if this is my last game, what a game to finish it on. And I'll say this, and I'll probably have to say it again if I do another game. Everyone have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope Santa Claus brings you all the minis you want, and I wish you all the fortune in your dice rolling for your future games. And this is me, Valley Gaming. Been an excellent year for my remote gaming. Unfortunately, couldn't do real life gaming, but thankfully I kind of refined my technique for doing it. Plenty of other people are doing remote gaming, have done it before and started doing it now. So yeah, at least we managed to get some videos out there, and we've all been able to get our little gaming fix. So again, everyone stay safe and all the best.